Hello, ladies. This is Diane Tuggle from the Happy Scrapbooker. And today, I just had this cute idea. I wanted a gingerbread house with little gingerbread men. So I started going through my stash, and we have an easel card. I love easel cards at Christmas because all the work that you do on your cards, all the detail and stuff, really shows up because you can stand them up and people can really enjoy them. So this card is made with a lot of different products, and some of them are retired, but what I want you to do is dig through your stash and find the things that make you happy. So I'm going to show you what I used. The first thing that I used is retired paper from last year, and it is called Reindeer Days, and I have packages that haven't even been opened yet. You know how you think you need it all, and then you need one more order, and you get some more. But the paper that I chose out of the pack is the one with the Christmas tree lights, strands of lights, and the one with the jingle bells on it. So the back has those little deer, and the back has those little deer. So this is the paper that I chose to use, and I'm using white cardstock and real red cardstock too. And then I picked a paper last year. I've been looking for my catalog because I didn't label this. But I think it's called Iconic Images. So it has like the little trees. It has like little holly branches, some plaid, some sprigs, snowflakes. And this is my scraps that were left over from last year. But I'm not really using the paper. I'm using the dies that go with this. So I'll show you what those are in a minute. But that's the only reason I could remember the name of it. I think it's called Iconic Images. So I don't even have the dies in a package. I have them when something retires. I put all my ones that I like the best. I pull them out and put them in a Christmas package of dies. Don't ask me why I do that, but I've been doing that for years. So I will show you what I have for the parts. So the main one that you're going to need is the country birdhouse. Now this did retire this year, but the dies in it, well, everything in it's great, but I just saw a gingerbread house. So the dies cut this piece separate, this tiny little decorative piece, and then this scallop piece separately. And then the birdhouse base. So let me move all these scraps out of the way here, and I'll show you what we have. You're going to need this birdhouse base right here. And you're going to need, this is, get my fingers working here. This is such a fun one. So this is the roof line, and I used white glimmer paper from my stash for the roof line. And then the decorative, and these are all in the birdhouse. The decorative little tiny little piece right here is red glimmer paper from my stash. And then the scalloped piece is some more white glimmer paper from my stash. Let me get a pokey tool. So see the little scallops? I just love that. So all these are in the birdhouse dies. Then you need a door for your birdhouse. And the door I used the Everyday Arches dies, which is a current product. It's the smallest one. And that's what I used for the door. I'm going to put it back in the packaging. And then for the red window, you could use a punch, but I went through all my circle dies till I found a teeny tiny one. It is a 1/2 inch. Actually, I think it's probably 3/8 of an inch circle. And I cut it out of red glimmer paper, and that is for the door window. I'm going to put this in my little tray. Back in my tray, okay. And then for the doorknob, in that iconic imagery die set, there's this little strip of tiny little hearts. So any tiny heart, you might even have a punch. And I cut red for the doorknob. I'll put that one back in there. And then in the iconic imagery, I cut, this is the little tree in that set, 2 of the little trees. They're the perfect size. So I'll put that in there. So that's all the iconic imagery, I believe. Then in my stash of Christmas dies, I have this tiny 2-layer candy cane. So I cut the white layer out of white glimmer paper. Put that right there. And the red layer just out of red cardstock. Let's poke the holes. So you'll need that. Or something like that. Anything that has a little candy cane. And then this year we have this cute set called Homemade Treats, and it has this little gingerbread man. This candy cane does have a die, but it's just stamped, and I wanted 2 layers, so, but you could use that. But anyway, I stamped him in pecan pie, and I cut him out. He has a die. I'm going to put the die back. Oh, no, I'll leave it out because I might make more of these. So I cut him out, and I also put those teeny tiny hearts right on the gingerbread man. I still have to do this one, but you see they have little hearts on them anyway, stamped. So you could use those hearts, or you could use liquid pearls, anything like that. So we have those. We need a couple of label dies. So I needed a label die down here and up here. And so this is what I cut for the little bumper for the I'm trying to say easel. And it is from, it's a label, and this was last year's Christmas greenery dies, and it's from that. I'll put that away. And then I had this really old set. Actually, it's a couple different sets in here, but the one I used is a Stampin' Up, and it was like a snowbank. So I cut that out of white glimmer paper also. And this glimmer paper is an off-brand, but it's really nice glimmer paper. I believe I bought a whole package of 12 by 12 on Amazon last year for this. It's really good quality, and you can stamp on it. The glimmer isn't textured. It's just kind of in the paper, so it's not like these little trees. I mean, put them together. So you see the trees have more, they're chunky like, and this is smoother. So that's what I used for my snowbank. This die right here, stick in there. And then this This banner die is just one I keep. I have a little, I'll show you what I have. For dies that I use a whole lot, I keep them stacked like this. And I move them around by season. So I have a lot of banners on here all the time. But like this little candle and flame and star and berries. And this star and this sprig and that berry all came, and these stars came from that iconic imagery, I believe. And this is going right here. Anyway, these are all things that I'm constantly pulling out, and I leave them out. And I change, like I say, I change them by season. So after Christmas, I'll put away the greeneries, the bows, and change it out for another season. So it's just a little magnetic thing that pops up and sits up like that. See, it's like an easel. Let me get a sip of water, ladies. So, I needed that banner. So there he is. Okay, I think we've got everything except for the words. And I have a little piece of baker's twine bow right there. And that is off-brand too. It was in my stash. I'm trying to use up stuff that was in the stash. So we'll put him over here to the side. So like these say, one says, Dear Santa. Can you see it? It's gold. There you go. And this one says, 'Tis the season. So I want it to go on this. Yeah, I think we're still going to use 'Tis the season. Because Santa's really not in this. Hello, Sadie. Come, my little doggy. So we're going to glue that on there. And it's going at the top of the card. You see it right there. So we've got all our pieces here. Those words came from this embossing folder. So it's a Christmas Words Collage Hybrid Embossing Folder. And what it does, it can emboss just on paper, or it has a die that goes with it. And when you put the die inside the embossing folder and cut, you get all of these words. So there's bunches and bunches of them. There's Noel with love, Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas, Merry and Bright, Seasons Green, Dear Santa, a whole bunch of them. They show right here. This is really a good set. So we'll put those away, and the embellishments that I'm using. I wanted something to look like candy. So I think this delightful decorative dots really looks like gumdrops. And so we'll be using those. And then, of course, our peppermints, red and white peppermints. You have to have that on a gingerbread house. So let's go ahead and put it together. Let me pull my seat over. I love that this is all made out of our scraps. So we have our standard base that is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2 and 2 3/4 to make the easel base. We have an inside piece that I've already pre-stamped with 2 of the little gingerbread men, and we're going to go ahead and put that down. And it just centers right in there. I'm going to put him in there. And we'll go ahead and put our bumper on here. So this piece right here is 4 1/4 by 1 3/4. And it's going to be the bumper that holds this in place, but it needs to be popped up. So I've got some thick foam tape here because I want to use it up because it was in my stash, number 1, and I need something with some good height and I don't want it to smash in the mail. So we're just going to use this up. And before we put it down, this piece right here is 1 1/4 by 4, and it fits right in the center. And again, that's from that Reindeer Fun paper pack from last year. And I think I have 3 or 4 of those packs that haven't been opened yet. If anybody is interested, happy to share. Okay. Just message me. Okay, this goes down. Peel those up. My little dogs are running up and down the stairs, up and down the stairs. Okay. We're going to just line it up at the bottom and lay it down flat. Okay. Now we have our little label right here. I'm going to use Garden Green ink. And I'm using a stamp set that I dug out. Well, where did I put it? I forgot to tell you what that one is. It is... Ooh, where is it? Here it is. Christmas Labels. And it says sweet as sugar plum candy. And this was from last year's Christmas sets. But use whatever you have. I just thought this was perfect for this label. Down and up. And put the ink away before we have a problem. And I'm going to put that stamp set away too. Okay, so here's my little label. And we're going to glue this in place to the side down here. On the left-hand side of the bottom of the popped up. Leaving a little bit of the paper or the bells showing on both sides. So, and I have my little baker's twine bow. This is thicker than the Stampin' Up! Baker's twine, but it will work just fine. And it was in my stash, and I am trying to use that up. I don't know who I'm kidding, because I have a huge stash. But if you use some of it, that's better than none of it. Okay. That goes there. Okay, we'll put our embellishments on when we finish. So here is the base of our card. Now let's do the front of our card. So our card front is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then the front liner is 4 by 5 1/4, and it just gets glued down flat. Have I run out of... Yeah, I run out of tape runner. Hold on a second. I have one sitting right here. These tape runners, oops, I can get it lined up, there we go, are just Mono Air by Tombow, and I like them because they usually do not get, and I watch it get jammed up, but they usually don't get jammed up. I don't have much trouble with these. And some of the Stampin' Up! Ones, they were very expensive, and I have problems with them. And they offered to replace them, but literally I had such a mess, I threw them away. So, I don't know. And I had them for a while before I used them, like maybe 6 months. So this just gets glued right here, and we are going to just put the adhesive on this half of the folded piece of the front of the card. This card just makes me so happy. Okay. There's that. Okay, now we need our decorative pieces. So we're gonna put this on here, and I'm gonna put it all the way to the bottom of the piece. So I'm gonna glue it down. I want the snowbanks to be prominent, so I'm just gonna glue it down, and then I will cut the edges off. This is going down flat. Okay. Let's see if you can see what I'm doing here. Yep. So see, I've got it hanging over the edge. And this is glued just to the bottom of the front piece. So it stands up like this. So now I just need to take my scissors, flip it over, and just trim off the excess. Okay. So there we go with that. Now let's work on our gingerbread house. So the gingerbread house is the one, it's called Country Birdhouse. And I was going to cut these sides off, but then I thought, you know what? That's the perfect place to lay the little Christmas trees and candies and things, so I'm not going to do that. So I am just going to glue my pieces on. So the easiest thing to do is to glue the outside piece on. And this is that beautiful glimmer paper I was telling you about. I got 12 by 12 glimmer paper on Amazon last year. It was a huge package of it, and I'll probably never use it all in my lifetime. And it was not that expensive. And I like this because it doesn't shed. You can stamp on it. So I've got this little tiny piece right here. You see the difference in the glimmer? This is a chunkier glimmer than that one, but they go together very well. So this is a tiny little accent piece. And there is a place on Facebook, it's called Stampin' Up Resale or something like that. Anyway, just kind of search it, and it's Facebook groups that you can probably get this stamp set used and the dies. So next goes this. And these are all just glued down flat until we get to the door. Till we glue on the door. That sounded like we were going somewhere. Okay. There, that's so pretty. Okay, here's our door. We want to pop him up. So we're going to glue the doorknob on first, which is one of those tiny little hearts. You could use a sequin. This is where your take your pick tool is going to come in real handy. Of course, it's got to be facing the right direction. There we go. And take some of that glue off. And kind of turn him in the right direction. There we go. There's our little doorknob. And now I'm going to use a dimensional to put the window on. Another thing that would be cute if you had a little wreath that die cut. And you could put a green wreath on the door. Okay, there's that. Now we're going to pop up our little door. So we're going to pop him up. I'm just putting the dimensionals right down the center. This is so cute. so I'm going to put the door, whoops, oh, I didn't mean to lay him down that fast. Okay, straight to the bottom. There we go. Then we are going to turn this around and put dimensionals on the back of it and put it on the card. Some of these guys don't want to come off. It got quiet all of a sudden. I wonder what those dogs are doing. Oh, one of them's up here sound asleep. Did you wear yourself out, Sadie? Okay. Sadie, are you okay? She is asleep. That quick. She was barking her head off. Okay. Now, we're going to go ahead and put him on here. So I'm going to lay it down flat. I want him over to the left. Not all the way. And just press him down. So now, in order to make this not look like a birdhouse, we're going to add our little trees. So the trees, one of them is popped up. This one is. I'm going to use a tiny, one of the itty bitty dimensionals too. So we're just going to stick it right down here. I might have to double up on that dimensional. Forgot that I did that because this little birdhouse is already popped up. We're going to need, oh pooey, 2 dimensionals on the back top of the tree. There we go. And then this other tree, we're going to lay him down flat. Piece of tape. Okay. And we're going to put that like that. Okay, our little gingerbread men and our candy cane. So the candy cane has 2 layers. Mine does anyway. Use whatever you have. I'm just going to put some little dots on the red solid part. And lay it over top of the glimmer paper. Line it up. Give it a squeeze. And we're going to glue him down flat. And kind of at an angle. Okay. Where are hearts? There they are. We need some little hearts. Those teeny tiny hearts. On our little gingerbread men. If you have little elves, that would be cute also. Okay, we're going to glue him. Oh, pooey, he slid. His heart slid. Okay, there we go. Okay, he's got glue on part of him, glue on this part, and 2 of the mini dimensionals. Oop. Paper came up without the dimensional one there. That kind of worked okay. And one there. paper off. So the reason I put 2 dimensionals right here and glue on the side is the glue is going to hold them on the little house. And the door is already popped up, so so you won't crush, we need those little dimensionals there. Isn't he cute? Okay, and we have one more that's kind of being cute and crawling around the door. So we're going to put him kind of like that. Okay, now we need our little banner. So this banner, I need to glue on my 'Tis the Season. Oops. Fits right on there. You all right, Taki? Okay, and we're going to glue that down flat right up here. And just kind of, I'm going to offset it a little bit on the red. And if you get any glue on gold paper, that's metallic gold, just use one of these rub and erase things and it will erase off. So there is that. That's so cute, but we need to put our embellishments on because it's a gingerbread man house. So I have a whole bunch here. I'm going to put those dies over there. I know I have one more sitting somewhere. Oh well. Okay, I'm going to use my scissors to get these large, I need to use the large peppermints. And I'm going to start in the middle of the top of the roof. And I'm going to try to evenly space and put 4 on each, 3 on each side, 1 at the top. And they're self-adhesive. They add so much. Could have used one of these for the tiny ones for the doorknob. Didn't think about that. And one more. Okay, okay, those are my peppermints. And now these again are the delightful decorative dots, and they really look like candy to me. So we're gonna put 3 right here. And I'm gonna try to use a large, a medium, and a small, one of each color. And I'm gonna put the large right there. A medium there. Oops, I need a small. A small of the red up on the top. Okay, now we're going to add our candy, our gumdrops on the side here. So I'm going to put 3 on each side. They're so cute. And then 2 on the other side of the tree here. So red and a little bitty green. There. Okay, here is our card. You see how pretty it is. 'Tis the season. Whoops. If the gumdrops, give them a good press. They are self-adhesive, but you may need to use a glue dot if one of them come off the adhesive. So here's our little gingerbread inside to write your note. Sweet sugar plum candy. So cute. So I hope that you will try to make one with whatever you have in your leftover things from last year's Christmas. And like I said, I have some supplies left, so I could help you out if you want. I thank you for your orders, online orders. It's always a surprise to me when I see that, and very nice surprise, I might add. So I really appreciate you watching, ladies. You have a good day. Be sure to check out my Diane Tuggle at the Happy Scrapbooker Facebook group and ask to join. Lots of ideas there. We have contests every once in a while, and I have giveaways and things, so I hope you'll join it. It's a private group, and you have to ask to join, but it's worth it. And again, please give my videos a like, a share, a thumbs up, and leave me a comment. Have a good day. Enjoy your Christmas card making.